guys, Ash here in Etheria Restart. Welcome to the video, sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you're going through something and you need them out there today. Today, I thought it'd be good to have a two-part series here. We'll talk about buffs, and we'll talk about debuffs in the Etheria Restart. I want to go ahead and use some supplementary material to talk about not just all the generic debuffs in the game, what they all do, but also all of the animus exclusive debuffs. We're talking debuffs that only one animus in the game has and exactly what they do. So even if you don't have these animuses, if you happen to get them in the future, you'll know what you're, in store for. It helps dictate whether or not you want to invest in that specific animus, or whether you're in the arena, live arena, etc. You go against these animuses, you'll know what that debuff actually means when it's on your characters. Same thing for PvE dungeons and whatnot in the game. This is a sponsored channel, so shout out to Etheria Restart for making this channel possible. All right, let's go ahead and go into the debuff section, the debuff article. Massive shout out to hellhades.com. They have great articles on there about really everything in Etheria Restart. Let's go ahead and start with the generic debuffs. Super simple here. I'll link this page for you guys as well. You should definitely have it bookmarked to this page and the entire Hell Hades website for that matter. All right, these debuffs appear across a wide range of characters and are essential for disrupting enemy strategies. First, we have stun, cannot take action. Stun, similar to raid and other games in the genre, they're just going to completely negate or stop your animus or whoever is stunned from taking a turn and completing any actions. That being said, as with a lot of debuffs out there, a lot of bosses are immune. The majority of them, obviously. Attack down reduces attack by 40%, great for damage mitigation. If you're dying somewhere, in the game, think about bringing in an animus that has attack down, and maybe you won't die, and maybe you'll clear it and complete your hyperlink or wherever you're actually focused on at the time. Speed down reduces speed by 30%. Listen, speed is everything in this game, so we always talk about having your animuses as fast as humanly possible, right? Especially the key animuses like the lilies and the plumes of the world, but a lot in addition to that as well. But also, attack down is incredibly useful for the same reason, right? You can also make your animuses by faster simply by negating the speed of your opponent. Block prevents the target from receiving any buffs. Pretty self-explanatory there. Anti-heal, again, pretty self-explanatory on that one. Target cannot receive any healing at all. Not partial, just none. Defense down reduces defense by 60%, ergo more damage on whatever target has decreased defense. Damage over time, or dots. In this game, they're just straight up called dot damage over time. At the start of the turn, deals real damage equal to 4% of max HP. So no mitigation to that damage, just straight up 4% of the enemy's max HP. Specifically good against targets with a lot of HP, ergo bosses. Just keep in mind that a lot of bosses are also immune to damage over time debuffs. Silence. Target can only cast one skill. Vulnerability increases damage taken by 30%, so that can stack, of course, with a defense down. Slumber. Targets cannot act, ends upon taking damage, which is increased by an extra 25%. So I like what they've done to slumber in this game. For the folks out there like yours truly coming from raid, for example, when we wake up an opponent or we wake up any enemy with a sleep debuff or a slumber in this case, the slumber is removed. They can still take their turn, and that's it. In this game, they also have an extra 25% damage, which helps really bring this debuff up to a more usable and viable debuff to have on your team. Crit rate down decreases the target's critical rate. I'm not familiar with a ton of animuses that have crit rate down. It's generally speaking not one of the most powerful debuffs out there in the game, but it can be useful, obviously, to keep your team alive, right? So, taunted forces the target to automatically cast one skill on the taunting enemy and take no other actions. So it's a great control ability. Obviously, the only ability to attack the animus that casted the taunt, right? All right, here's all the uniques and the animus that has the uniques. So a little bit more, I guess, in-depth here, a little bit more complex, some of these debuffs, than some of the more basic or standard debuffs in the game. These powerful debuffs are exclusive to specific heroes and often define their unique combat style. Would completely agree with that. So we have Lilith's Graceful Mischief. Explodes upon removal, dealing indirect damage equal to 30% of Lilith's max HP. Also has a 100% chance to inflict a stun for 1 turn. Super powerful ability. Last words from Heinrich. Each stack increases crit damage taken and the chance of receiving a critical hit by 7%, stacking up to 4 times. So crit damage or critical rate, ergo crit damage mitigation built in. It's a great ability on Heinrich, especially it fits his kit, as you could probably say about all of these specific abilities. For the most part, we have Kloss, one of my personal favorites. Hacking or hack in. They call it hack in. I thought it was hacking in game. Either way, cannot receive hacking progress again. Increases damage taken by 25% and decreases damage dealt by 45% and cannot be purified as well. Super strong. The cool thing about these unique debuffs is, again, they stack with the normal debuff. So you can really, this allows you to really start to escalate and build in layers upon layers of extra damage and vulnerabilities on the animus or the boss or whomever you're attacking, right? All right, we have Chain Lock from Kloros. When Kloros attacks the afflicted target, his damage dealt increases by 30%. If attacked by the same target, his damage taken is reduced by 30%. So this is very Kloros specific, both in terms of extra damage and damage mitigation. Erosion by Dyna. Upon receiving the next crit hit, consumes 1 stack to deal real damage equal to 40% of the attacker's attack and increase the attacker's turn meter by 8%. So upon the next critical hit, consumes 1 stack, replacing the erosion stacks, and the damage equal to 40% of the attacker's attack. So extra damage based on the attacker's attack and also getting that turn meter boost. Really cool ability. Doom Toll. Kloros again. After the afflicted target takes damage 10 times, this debuff is removed and Kloros instantly casts Doom's Resurge. Only 1 target can be affected at a time, excuse me. Cannot be purified as well. So again, Kloros has 2 uniques here, pretty unique in that. I think the only 2 animuses in the game, or 3, that have 2 unique debuffs. And this one's really good, especially in longer battles, right? Because it takes 10 turns to actually get that debuff removed and have the extra attack damage. Bleeding from Aboro deals indirect damage at the start of the turn equal to 50% of Aboro's attack. Then we have Freeze from Kraken. Prevents the target from taking action or gaining turn meter. Interesting how Freeze is not a generic debuff, a generic control debuff in this game, as it is in most games. This is actually going to be exclusive to Kraken. Hacking Progress from Kloss. As we mentioned, Kloss is the other animus with 2 special abilities. So Hacking Progress, each stack, you can have up to 3 stacks, increase damage taken by 6% and decreases damage dealt by 12%. So 18% extra damage taken, and again 36% extra damage reduction with the full stacks, the 3 stacks of Hacking Progress. Upon reaching 3 stacks, Kloss consumes all stacks at the end of her turn and guarantees a 2-turn hack in, which again we just spoke about. We should do a full guide here on Kloss, one of my favorite animuses out there in the game. So again, that's going to place the 2-turn guaranteed hack in, which is going to basically start the progress over. Cannot receive Hacking Progress again. Damage taken, increased damage taken by 25%, decreases damage dealt by 45%, cannot be purified. It's a really nice loop there in Kloss's kit. Forgetfulness by Silence disabled all passive effects of the target. This is the only kind of block passive that I'm aware of in the game, so really makes Silence a very unique animus, one that I actually have, but I haven't invested in. All right, guys, stay tuned for the buffs portion of this video, the second half of this video, going live tomorrow. Thank you again for watching till the end of the video. Subscribe here if you enjoyed the content. Join the Discord, where I give $100 away every single week. It's free to enter, right? It's in the description below. So join our community Discord. Shout out to Etheria Restart for sponsoring this channel again. Thank you for watching till the end. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.